For all of human history, music has been our sacred ground. It's the language we all speak, the one thing we believed was forged exclusively in the fires of human experience. We listen to a song and we feel the heartbreak, the joy, the struggle of the person behind the notes. We are certain we can detect the soul in the sound, the ghost of a human feeling living inside the melody. This has been our map of the creative world, a foundational truth we never thought to question. But recently, a strange signal has begun to cut through the static. It's a sound so pure, so complex, and so emotionally resonant that it stops you in your tracks. You hear a new song online, a melody that feels like it was written just for you, and you rush to find the artist, but you can't, because the artist doesn't exist. Not in the way we've always understood. And suddenly, we're faced with a locked room mystery. Inside the room is a beautiful, perfect piece of music, but the door is bolted from the inside. There are no windows, and there's no human to be found. So the question that echoes is this: if a machine can make you feel, what exactly have we been listening to all this time? This isn't just a new instrument or a new technology. This is a discordant note in the symphony of what we thought it meant to be human, and it's threatening to change the entire composition. For the longest time, the grand story we told ourselves about artificial intelligence and art was a comforting one. We saw AI as a brilliant student, a technical prodigy. It could study every painting by Van Gogh, every sonata by Mozart, and learn to replicate them with flawless precision. It could be the perfect mimic, the ultimate parrot. But we were convinced it could never create something truly new. The logic was elegant and seemingly unbreakable. Great art requires a soul. It requires lived experience, the sting of loss, the warmth of love, the quiet ache of nostalgia. A machine has none of that. It has only data. Therefore, we concluded AI music would always be a clever forgery. It might be technically perfect, but it would feel hollow, like a beautiful wax apple, perfect on the outside, but with no life, no flavor within. An expert, a true connoisseur, we believed, would always be able to spot the difference. This beautiful edifice of thought stood for years, a testament to our belief in our own exceptionalism. Music was our magic, a trick no machine earned. But then that beautiful story began to fray at the edges. A series of unsettling whispers started to emerge from the digital ether, each one casting doubt on our cherished theory. The first whisper came in the form of a challenge, a kind of musical Turing test spreading across the internet. People were played a series of short musical clips, some by human artists, some generated by an algorithm. The task was simple: tell them apart. The results were anything but. Time and again, people failed. Their guesses were often no better than a coin flip. The line we thought was so clear and bright was, in reality, impossibly blurry. For many, this was the first sign that our map of the creative world was wildly out of date. Then came a second, stranger signal. This time from a scientific lab. A study at the Autonomous University of Barcelona hooked up listeners to instruments that measured their physical reactions to music. They found something that seemed to defy all logic. AI-generated music was causing greater pupil dilation in listeners than human-composed music. Pupil dilation is a raw, involuntary sign of emotional arousal. The machine, the thing with no feelings, was literally creating a more potent physiological response in a human brain. It was a measurable, undeniable jolt of emotion. The soulless machine was making us feel more. The final anomaly wasn't a whisper, it was a roar. Songs began to go viral on social media, tracks with millions of plays, shared and loved and added to countless playlists. People were forming genuine, powerful connections to these songs, only to find out later that their new favorite anthem wasn't written by a sensitive soul in a recording studio, but generated in seconds from a simple text prompt on a platform like Suno or Udio. The ghost in the machine wasn't just haunting the lab, it was topping the charts. These weren't just cracks in the old theory anymore, the entire foundation was starting to groan under the strain. The intellectual climax, the moment the locked room door swung open, wasn't a result of a single discovery. It was a sudden, shocking shift in perspective. We had been searching for a ghost, a human soul inside the machine, but that was the wrong approach. The breakthrough came when we realized the machine didn't need a soul. It just needed the blueprint. The new generation of AI, built on models like transformers and diffusion, works in a fundamentally new way. Think of a transformer model not as a parrot, but as the world's greatest literary scholar. It has read every book ever written, and it doesn't just see words, it sees the invisible web of connections between them, the deep patterns of context and meaning across millions of pages. Now apply that to music. The AI has listened to everything, and it has learned the hidden language of emotion. It doesn't feel sadness, but it knows the exact harmonic structure, the precise tempo, the subtle melodic contour that will trigger the sensation of sadness in a human listener. Then you have diffusion models, which are like master sculptors. Imagine starting with a block of pure noise, a shapeless hiss of static. The AI, guided by a text prompt, meticulously carves away the noise, bit by bit, until a crystal clear, perfectly formed musical idea emerges. It's not copying, it's creating from chaos. And here is the stunning revelation. Our brains, it turns out, aren't necessarily responding to the soul of the artist. They are responding to the pattern. The music is a key, and our emotional response is the lock. The AI learned how to cut a perfect key without ever needing to understand what lies behind the door it opens. The uncanny valley of AI music is disappearing because the music isn't fake. The pattern is real. With this new lens, suddenly everything comes into focus. Those unsettling whispers from before are no longer contradictions, they're confirmations. Of course people couldn't pass the musical Turing test. The AI wasn't faking it, it was speaking the language of music fluently. And of course our pupils dilated. The AI was deliberately crafting patterns with the specific mathematical goal of creating maximum emotional arousal. The old math wasn't just wrong, we were looking at it upside down. This new vista opens up a world of staggering possibilities. Music creation is being radically democratized. With a tool like Suno or Udio, anyone with an imagination can become a composer. You don't need years of training or expensive equipment, you just need an idea. The bedroom producer now has a superpower, a 24/7 songwriting partner that never gets tired. We're already seeing the rise of entirely virtual artists, AI-powered pop stars who release albums and hold concerts in digital worlds. But this new world is also filled with profound, complex questions. If an AI generates a hit song from a text prompt, who owns the copyright? Who gets the royalties? This is a legal and ethical wilderness that the music industry is just beginning to navigate, with major record labels already filing lawsuits against these powerful new platforms. And we are forced to confront the AI composer bias, the strange psychological quirk where people enjoy a piece of music less if they're simply told it was made by an AI, even if they loved it moments before. It reveals how much of our experience is shaped by our beliefs about the creator. We stand at a profound crossroads. We've unlocked a new form of creation, a tool that can augment our own creativity in ways we are just beginning to understand. But it also forces us to ask what it is we truly value in art. Is it the struggle, the story of the human behind the work, or is it the final product, the beautiful thing that moves us regardless of its origin? The journey to this point has shown us that our most cherished beliefs can be upended overnight. The signal that was once faint static is now a clear broadcast, and it's telling us that the future of music, the future of art itself, will be a conversation, a collaboration between the human heart and the ghost in the machine.